A fresh face and name is elected to the Orlando City Commission. Regina Hill captured a little more than 54% against Juan Lynham. Hill's been arrested at least 21 times, but she's turned her life around and vows to do the same for District 5.
A few moments later.
This is the mugshot of 58-year-old Regina Hill. The Orlando City Commissioner faces 7 total charges, including 3 counts of exploitation of the elderly, mortgage fraud, scheme to defraud, and 2 counts of fraud. This centers on an ongoing investigation involving a 96-year-old constituent.
A woman who was arrested 21 times was elected to the city council. And guess what? She's now has 7 felony charges. Let's talk about it. This is Regina Hill. She is an Orlando City Commissioner, meaning she is on the City Council. Now, Hill was first elected to the City Council in 2013 in a shocking upset.
A fresh face and name is elected to the Orlando City Commission. Regina Hill captured a little more than 54% against Juan Lynham. Hill's been arrested at least 21 times, but she's turned her life around and vows to do the same for District 5.
I'm just excited. I never thought somebody like me. When I started the campaign, you know, it's been some valleys high, some valleys low, but God, that I stand in front of these steps to represent the people.
Regina Hill says she's just a little girl from Paramore, but now she's moving on up to lead District 5 in Orlando after defeating Juan Lynham last night.
Now, before Regina became commissioner, she had been arrested 21 times on various charges. For example, in the year 2000, she was arrested on misdemeanor charges of disorderly conduct in Orange County, and she pleaded guilty. Her sentence was 179 days of supervised probation and 50 hours of community service. In 2005, she was arrested on drug possession charges and sentenced to 6 months in probation. Now, like I always say, it's not where you come from, but where you're going. With all that adversity, Hill was able to turn her life around and eventually become Orlando City Commissioner. But her time as a commissioner on the City Council has not been smooth. For example, in 2015, one of her homes was raided by police. This led to 5 people being arrested, including her son.
We are also on top of breaking news in the Pine Hills area tonight. Deputies say they found guns and drugs when they raided a home owned by Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill. The house is at the corner of Baywood and Ironwood in the Pine Hills area. Local 6's Eric Sandoval is there.
Orange County Sheriff's investigators tell me they raided this house just about 3 or 4 hours ago now. Inside the home of Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill, they found drugs and weapons stashed. So right now they have detained about 6 to 8 people. Again, this raid happened about 3:45 this afternoon. SWAT teams and deputies served this search warrant. Several people tried to run apparently, but they were caught. This house is owned by City Councilwoman Regina Hill, and apparently it's been under surveillance for the last 2 months after acting on a tip.
Now, in that raid, Regina Hill's son, Rakeem Hill, was actually arrested and charged with the following: trafficking in methamphetamines, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and possession of cannabis. Now, the charges against Rakeem Hill were dropped by prosecutors just a couple of months later. Now, let's fast forward to 2017. Regina Hill posted a video online that seemed to suggest that she was under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
A video posted on social media shows a well-known Orlando commissioner mumbling.
It's video News 6 has a lot of questions about. We went to City Commissioner Regina Hill's office today to get answers about it.
Out to the people, we're back.
Orlando Commissioner Regina Hill says this isn't her under the influence of any drugs.
I'm not all that cohesive.
It's her as a mother in grief.
Yeah. You want to come in? We'll come in. We're not even listening. Who cares?
This video, which we don't know when it was taken, has surfaced online and on Facebook and on YouTube. And Hill says she doesn't know how it got out.
Power to the people. We know you and we respect you.
But she does know she didn't give any permission.
Commissioner Hill also released a statement that in part says this about the video. It says, quote, with the video, some are making allegations of drug abuse. Commissioner Hill adamantly denies the use of drugs. Instead, the video depicts a mother who is overcome dealing with the loss of her daughter.
Now, we are just touching the surface with all the controversies that this city commissioner has had over the years. But now that leads us to what's happening now.
News 6 got a hold of these investigative documents that claim, among other things, Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill fraudulently established power of attorney over a 96-year-old woman. Investigators say that power of attorney allowed her to secure a mortgage in the woman's name and co-purchase this home in the Lake Man Estates area of Orlando without the woman even knowing about it. They say Hill then allowed her son and his girlfriend to live in it. They also claim Hill moved into this house about a mile away in the Washington Shores neighborhood that was once owned by the elderly woman's parents. They claim Hill used the woman's money to renovate the inside and didn't pay rent.
Now, those allegations seem damning enough, but there's a lot more going on. The woman's attorney alleged that Hill raided her bank account and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of this woman's money on things like shopping sprees and going to Miami.
FDLE investigators also claim that Hill used more than $100,000 of the woman's cash and credit cards to purchase things for herself, like expensive perfume, clothing, IV vitamins, a facelift, a New Year's Eve trip to Miami, car insurance, and dental surgery. Now, the woman is fighting back. Her attorneys filed court papers seeking to keep Hill away from the woman's finances and her property. And an Orange County judge approved a temporary injunction last week.
Now, this wasn't a criminal case. This was a civil case. See, someone had given a tip that this elderly woman was being taken advantage of. And that's when some lawyers got involved and tried to protect this woman's assets. But because of the fraud allegations, local law enforcement got involved, and then they made an arrest.
Breaking news, state police will share more details this afternoon about the arrest of Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill.
Regina Hill has been booked into the Orange County Jail. That is according to the jail website. She faces a total of 7 different charges. This is the mugshot of 58-year-old Regina Hill. The Orlando City Commissioner faces 7 total charges, including 3 counts of exploitation of the elderly, mortgage fraud, scheme to defraud, and 2 counts of fraud. This centers on an ongoing investigation involving a 96-year-old constituent who Hill learned was living in bad conditions back in 2021. An investigative affidavit indicated Hill had inappropriately gained power of attorney for the woman and had spent more than $100,000 on herself. The woman's new power of attorney filed legal action against Hill, with Hill responding in a motion to dismiss that the constituent lacks the capacity to enter into any agreements or contracts due to incapacity, and that the new power of attorney has no relationship to the principal and no actual knowledge of her needs.
So now some people were asking, what did they expect to happen with someone who has 21 arrests in their lifetime before becoming city commissioner? Now, don't get me wrong, people can change. But to vote someone into such a prominent position who has such a checkered past, I think would give pause to anybody. But now you had another problem. You literally had a city commissioner who was being charged with theft and fraud of one of their own constituents still working as a commissioner. So the governor of the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, decided to suspend this commissioner.
Breaking right now, Governor Ron DeSantis has suspended Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill just days after she was indicted on criminal charges. Just moments ago, we received a statement from Hill saying in part, "My confidence in the integrity of the legal process and faith in God is unwavering, and I am deeply moved by the support from our community. I will wait for my day in court when I'll be able to prove my innocence and that I always acted in good faith."
We have been notified that Governor DeSantis entered an executive order under state law temporary suspending Commissioner Hill.
Before getting to business, Mayor Buddy Dyer shared how the city council had just learned that one of the seats will remain empty. It's been 4 days since Hill was taken to jail on criminal charges, accused of taking advantage of a 96-year-old woman living in her district.
So Regina Hill is being sued in civil court by the 96-year-old woman's representatives for all her money back. And then on the criminal side, Regina Hill is facing multiple charges of fraud for what she allegedly did to this 96-year-old woman. Now, you know, cases like this always make me think, why would people vote someone like this in? It's not like it was a secret of who she was and her criminal background history. But what would make someone go to the polls and say, you know what, someone who's been arrested 21 times, who has all this background and criminality, why would we want them to represent us? And then pretend to be shocked when the person turns out to be who we knew they were already. And that's also the same thing with Tiffany Henyard up in Illinois. She was breaking into cars before she became mayor. Now, another sad piece about this story is that Regina Hill got something that most people never get, a second chance. Regina Hill could have been a success story for all those people wanting a second chance. But now she's going to be a cautionary tale on why you shouldn't give that second chance. Now, remember, as always, these are just allegations and not facts. She hasn't been proven guilty in a court of law, and we'll see how it goes from here. Now, as always, tell me where I'm wrong in the comment section if you think I'm being too hard on Regina Hill. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace.